Welcome back to Your 1230, the only podcast where our guests tell their story with the help of 12 questions in just 30 minutes. I'm your host, Mike Salitro, and today we are thrilled to be joined by Uros Loviscek. Uros is from Slovenia. He's a proud father of 2 boys and a business owner. His first business endeavor goes back to when he was 5 years old, selling dirt door to door. From there, he's had many different careers, worked in several different industries. At times, going from selling that dirt to working with constructing parts for Lamborghini and Ferrari. And since 2020, he's developed hundreds of projects for clients. In 2022, expanded his consulting business to international clients. And this year began with a big win, launching his first best-selling book, Master of Finance, that was written with the intent to help more business owners understand financial aspects of their business. Uros, welcome. We are really excited to be speaking with you.
Mike, thank you very much for having me. The pleasure is all mine, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, thank you for saying that. I've got a few things I want to jump into from the bio. I want to start with the flashy stuff. Lamborghini, Ferrari. How did you get there? What were you doing exactly?
What brought me there is networking. One guy knows another, and so on. Through networking, I got introduced to my client to opportunity to take a stake within a company that is producing parts for Lamborghini, Ferrari, Rentec, and this was mostly racing parts for Super Trofeo and so on.
Okay.
And yeah, and of course there was investment involved with that. Of course, I checked all the papers, did my due diligence, taxes, business. Business was legit, all was fine, and therefore I got my money. I invested in there, got a stake in the company, became a CEO. And first part, it was great. It was amazing. And why I went in there is because of my love of cars. I was total petrol head for the whole my life since I was a little boy. So there was like even emotional driven decision probably.
Well, I want to stop you there because I'm glad that you mentioned a little boy, because that's a great place to end up for somebody who enjoys fast cars and racing. But as a little boy, as referenced in your bio, at 5 years old, you had a career door to door selling dirt. What was that, and how did that start?
Yeah, that was the result of probably a little boredom in the hot summer afternoon. When as a kid, you don't know what to do with yourself. You want to have some ice cream. You don't have money unless your parents give it to you. So out of that became an idea. I had a little toy shovel like every other kid. So I went and I dug a hole in our backyard about, I don't know, 30 inches by 30 inches, something like that. And I put all that dirt through sifter, went to the kitchen, get those little plastic bags that we usually use to store meat in the freezer. So you can imagine it was really small package at the end. But nevertheless, I packed all that dirt into those bags and loaded them on my little red, like plastic trolley I had. And also, if you can imagine that it was hot summer afternoon, the dirt was like dry, nothing to do with it. But I decided this is my dirt for plants. That was my product. So with all that inventory, I went knocking door to door through the whole neighborhood, and within an hour or two, something like that, I sold it all.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. Probably my unfair advantage was I was a kid. Anywhere I knocked, either everyone laughed, either they just gave me money, or took a bag of dirt, being like thrilled to have that product. But nevertheless, I sold it all and got myself an ice cream.
There you go. And that's a good lesson to learn as a 5-year-old. I'm sure you've instilled that work ethic and that kind of vision to your boys. So I like that's where it started. As a reference from there, you've had the ability to do some really cool stuff in the last few years. Specifically, you've kind of worked with a bunch of clients and culminated in writing the book this year. When you meet someone new, what do you tell them that you do, and how do you kind of describe your day to day?
What I do is help people understand their business, their background of their business finance. So I help them grow the part of the business they're not aware of. So if you imagine every business owner starts from their skill, from their strong skill, whether they're a carpenter, plumber, marketer, whatever. Marketers are probably one of the best with business logic, but other traits, they're masters of their craft. But background of their business, finance, like no one even thinks about it. So what are expenses, taxes, cash flow, all that? This doesn't exist. And the funny thing is that this is the part that is maybe even more crucial than your initial trade that you're doing. Because if you neglect that part, it can sink your business. So this is what I learned through more than 20 years of experience working in finance, in accounting, tax advising, and so on. And I learned from my clients and my own mistakes what issues, what struggles people are having within the business, owning and running a business.
I like where you started there, and that's what I'm going to start with, is that people have a specific skill or a set of skills that bring them into that small business. They probably don't do everything, and if they do, they probably don't do everything on an expert level. So they do need expertise in other areas. And you mentioned the finance, the tax, the accounting piece, that can be a big gap for others. What do most people, most small business owners, people running kind of their own company, what don't they know about their finances that they should? And how do you help them discover, A, this is what's happening, and B, this is why it's important?
I will flip your question a little bit, or I will answer it a little from different
Flip
angle.
away.
What they mostly know about their business is what their fancy app on the phone shows, what's the balance on their account. So we have this much money at this given moment. And maybe they're aware how much sales they got in the last, I don't know, let's say month or a week. This is what they know. They know what they know kind of what their sales are, they know what their balance is. They have no clue about the cash flow, what's coming in, what's going out, and what's the structure of their expenses. There, you probably know you have fixed expenses, you have variable expenses, marginal cost. If you sell more, there is a price of additional unit, and this is a part that very few people understand. So if you get a nice big order that you would like, be super happy to get maybe a boost within your business, but that order comes with a hidden cost, because it might even create a loss for you, not a profit. So this is the part people just don't understand: expenses, cash flow, what's coming in, what's coming out, and this is the most important part from my perspective, because I call it the crystal ball for your business. When you do cash flow forecasts properly, you can you can see what's going to go on 1, 2, 3, 6, 12 months from now with this pace. If we get this trend going on, what issues we're going to face in 6 months' time, maybe 12 months' time. And we can correct them now before they even appear. So this is what I love to do with my clients.
Yeah, that's a great answer, and it's somewhat terrifying that you would think most businesses would be thrilled to get that large order, to get that big business come in.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the forensics behind it, it's like, you're actually losing money by fulfilling this order. So you should not only stop trying to fill this one, but you should also stop trying to get clients in that mold. So that's a great example. You mentioned cash flow forecast there. If they have difficulty kind of understanding their current cash flow, what do you help them do, or how do you help them quickly get to a place that not only I'm going to show you what's going on, I'm going to help you forecast that 30, 60, 90, 12 months down the line that you need to know so we can run a profitable business as opposed to one that just is taking in money and sending out without realizing what's going on?
Yeah, first of all, we have to do analytics, what's going on up to this point. And from here on, we can do forecast for certain period of time that we want to project in the future. So this is one thing. So we can see what's coming in, what's coming out, what is the pace, how are clients paying, are they being late, are they being on time, are there recurring clients, are there new clients all the time, and with that we set a projection. And out of that, we can also create, when we have the solution or like picture how the future is going to look like, then we can also create different pockets that's going to finance the future. And we call that cash flow budgeting. So with that, you always have money for inventory, for taxes, which is super important. You probably heard the term profit rich, cash poor company when the tax season comes and there is decent amount of profit, even more decent amount of taxes, and no money in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, as you described that, I know there's people who run their own business that are shaking their heads like, yes, that's me. I didn't know, or I thought I had a great year, and then I ended up giving most of it to the IRS. So that this planning and not only understanding what you have, the planning piece, and that having a business that makes sense both to your clients on paper and that is cash flow positive and then can work in a way that benefits both groups there. Because if you are even if you are interested in just helping others, you can't do it at a loss for very long and remain in business. So your stories illustrate that for sure. Switching gears a moment, your book Master Finance, what's that about and who should read it?
Well, it's actually for every business owner. It's written with intent to be a playbook, not a book that you just read once and forget about it. It's meant to be with you on your table to run your business. Why? I wrote it out of my own experience, out of my experience with clients, and I'm going through business structures. I'm going through all the reports that every business needs to understand, what they are, how do you use it, and further on, we're going through base of tax planning within the company. We go through the base of cash flow, to real life cases, what happened when they weren't paying attention to their cash flow. Either there was over financing the company for a business that had 14 loans and a couple of leases with no money in the bank, or the other case that took a loan and put it all together to the last cent into inventory that was like at the end almost 6 months late, and that collapsed the whole business. So, and the book was written with intent to help more people, to get the message out to more people, to learn what they don't know. Actually, with the book, they will learn what they don't know about the business and what they need to be aware of.
So as you describe it, that tactical playbook is something that I think a lot of businesses could use if they don't have someone, or even if they do have someone like you to kind of help them understand their cash flow, that it's a step-by-step, a guide they can reference at times when, they may not know what to do next or may not have kind of the seen what was going on, especially built on your business experience. And kind of going back to where we started, you referenced that when we talked about Lamborghini and Ferrari, those are flashy names, and you referenced being able to get your money out of it. The part that I left out of that was that that did not end well because of, and I'll let you kind of go through it, but it was kind of, I think the term in the description was a scam. So what happened ultimately there? How were you able to walk
Mhm.
away without losing? And what have you learned that helps you help others now?
Well, number one lesson with that was go with your gut, because in the day I had to wire that money. I had a gut feeling, honestly, that there is something wrong. I didn't know what. I couldn't wrap my mind around what could go wrong because all the numbers were okay. Business was legit. So what could go wrong? I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. So the logical part took a decision. And honestly, I don't know whether I should take the decision or not. If if I could go back, because there is a saying from Ed Milet that everything happens for you, not to you. And bottom line, this happened for me and kind of boosted my career further on. Um, but so business was okay. I came into the company with 4 other owners. And in about, let's say, a little more, let's say 6 to 7 months, I've seen orders dropping like significantly. Okay, shit, what's going on? uh, Head of the factory uh, came up to me. We're short on orders. We don't know what to do. Shit, how you don't know what to do? What's going on? Well, orders are running out. We have no jobs to do. Okay, got my phone, called Lamborghini, called Ferrari, went there for a meeting. Yeah, see, this is the racing season. Racing season is coming to an end. There is a new model coming next year. So we're not going to be ordering anymore. Okay. Yeah, how am I supposed to hold? It was 15 employees at the factory. I have to pay them a paycheck. If you stop ordering and like 3 companies at once, what can I do? Well, figure it out. I don't know. Okay, I started running around, went to Ducati, went to all the brands that could use some carbon fiber parts. I managed to squeeze a little bit of orders out of everyone just to get the thing going and to figure out what now. Because at that point, I kind of figure out where the thing was going in the beginning. Where was that hidden gem that my guy was telling me? The business was running out, and this were nowhere to be seen in the numbers. And the thing is that all this world doesn't run on contracts. There is no contracts. Lamborghini won't sign you a contract where you can see, okay, we will work for you for the next 5 years in that matter. You just become a supplier. So in December, it was already pretty clear that it's going to be a cold winter. So I've seen that coming in. I decided, okay. And the other three owners were not listening to me at all. No one was cooperating. They were coming against me, and I said, okay, no problem. I resign as a CEO. If you want to do your way and you don't like, you're gonna be disregarding whatever I do, whatever I say, whatever I'm trying to do, because we have an urgent situation right here. We have to do something because there is 15 people, 15 families. So there's quite a bit of responsibility you have to have. And at that point, I decided, okay, if everyone is against me, okay, no problem. Find someone else who's going to run your way. And they were all involved in the company before. So maybe I just walked in something I wasn't prepared for. But every bad comes with something good, let's say. It went south, everything went south just before March 2020. And this was also one thing that got me into, because I was thinking, whatever happens in the world, racing is going on. All the companies are still putting money into racing. Even if sales are going down, let's say Formula One and NASCAR, all racing world is going on. But in March 2020, racing world stopped. Like that stopped. And I've seen that this story would end one way or another. There was no solution. At that point, I've seen, if I would, doesn't matter how hard I would try, the story would end. Because that company wouldn't endure another year and a half without business. Probably there is no company in the world that could endure a year and a half without business. So I just have to face the reality. And maybe this comes, or sorry, this came as a savior to my mistake.
And I like where you started there, that, you know, sometimes, especially when we talk about cash flows, understanding what's happening in the business on paper, that's very important. But sometimes it's as simple as, this doesn't feel right. I need to trust my gut. I need to see that even though everything looks like it makes sense, I need to step back, use my intuition, my business savvy here, and see that, what am I missing, or how can I avoid something that either I should not do, or if I do it, I need to have an exit strategy. So that story really illustrates that. So thank you for sharing that. I know that it can't be easy, and it's not something that you know, you're hoping to go through, but it's helped move forward, and it, you know, kind of served as a case study for the book in making a playbook for others out there. As we're somehow already on time, wrapping up, where can our listeners find you if they want to connect, if they want to learn more? Where can they do that?
Well, there are two best ways. One is, of course, through social media. Instagram is my main social media part. It's Uros _ DMFCFO, and I'm putting daily content out there, daily nuggets that can help business owner progress in certain part. So they will get value from me every single day. And the other one is mfcfo.pro. It's a website where I also put daily blog out there, a bunch of articles that can help business owners, everything finance and tax related. And also there is a bunch of buttons that can grab hold of me, so we can hop on the call. Also free call to just go through what their issues are and how can I help them at the end.
Excellent. So we will post all those. Go ahead.
Yeah, because my goal always was to help people. I feel that is my purpose, to help people win in their lives. And it's what I want to do.
Excellent. So we will post all those for sure. I will also have a link to the book on Amazon to make sure if our listeners want to check that out, they can. This has been wonderful. I want to end here. We've talked a lot, the many things that you've done, the lessons that you've learned, the book as far as a playbook for business owners out there. But before they get the book, what can most business owners do tomorrow they're not doing today that would put them on better footing?
What can do tomorrow that they're not doing today? For sure, grab a piece of paper, lay down money coming in, lay down money coming out for starters for next 2-3 weeks. You see your invoices that are already out there, some overdue, some still in term, unpaid. You know what business you got coming in, so you can set at least a week, 2 or 3 of cash flow coming in. Then flip the script. What's going on in those 3 weeks? You got salaries to pay. You got vendors to pay. What invoices do you have that are overdue? And how you will see how much money is coming in next 2 to 3 weeks, and you will see how much money is going out in 2 to 3 weeks. And this is basically what you're working with. And at that point, you will also see how much money maybe you're leaving with your customers. You will find out how much accounts receivables are open that you're not collecting. So maybe you can address an issue right away. Okay, I'm leaving money there. I have to get more aggressive with my accounts receivables. How can I speed that up so I will improve my cash flow there? Or you will find a bunch of expenses that you have that you just don't need.
Thank you. That's actionable, and that's something that, as you said, I don't think that most business owners are keeping a close enough track of, or at all. So that's something they can do tomorrow that will help them better footing and understand the finances of their business. Let's wrap it up here. I generally jump all over the place, but I feel like I did that even more in our talk tonight. What is something I didn't ask you that I probably should have?
Cool. What you didn't ask and you probably should have. There would be what would be my other biggest business lesson I got in my life. And I would say whenever you're doing a partnership, and you most likely start that with friends or family, with people you know and trust, and later on maybe even people you met for the first time and just got the same idea, same vibe at the beginning. Put everything in writing. Get in as much detail as you want, as you need to, as you can imagine at the moment, and keep adding it on later on with when you see something, because not just money. There are different core values, different culture that someone wants to build within the company, different idea with the money. Of course, with money, everything starts to complicate. One wants to drag money out, the other one wants to put money in because sees what we need to do, not just what we want to do. And these are all clashing points that sooner or later will show up, and the company or the venture will collapse.
Well, that is another good story and a good way to end here. Uros, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a great conversation, very helpful for our listeners. We're going to post the links that we talked about. Check out Master of Finance. Sounds like it's a playbook that probably most businesses could use or implement immediately or very, 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 very quickly into their business. So thank you for joining us, and I do look forward to doing this again.
Thank you, Mike, very much. It was my pleasure, my honor, and I'm super thrilled to help, and hope this message is going to help as many people as possible.
Awesome.